Oh man,
Shkreli did it.
you never know with cyber warfare and whatnot, but
It was Messiah. Hello, Cassava Nation. Oh, I should do a prank Joe Springer video. I just gotta shave my head. Let's get into it. We saw the data. It was good. It was good. It was not good. I don't know if I can get that red face going. I might have a heart attack. I can't believe no data came out last night or this morning. All the biotech binary events are going to happen next week, I guess. We all saw Tara. Tara was started by one of my employees, former employees. The YOLO portfolio I have is just meant to go ham. The problem is if I show the YOLO portfolio, people copy it. Yeah, I mean, Truth Social is basically not used. So if you go on there, you'll see like nobody uses it. Nobody talks about anything on there. And in 4 years, nobody's going to use it because some people are using it now to kiss President Trump, which is fine. But nobody really engages on there. You need normies to engage on there. And if you're posting anything on there, you're also posting it on other socials. So you're not like, only Trump posts like exclusive messages on there. And only his biggest fans go on there. Even though 150 million people voted for him. Think about this. 80 million people voted for him or something like that, right? 3 million are on Truth Social. There's only 3 million people, him enough to actually want to read his messages all the time. Even though so many more people than that voted for him. Only so many people actually want to sit there and read the messages. So it's really telling, I think. And again, no shade to him. I mean, there's a lot of risk management systems. Half Kelly is not so terrible if Kelly doesn't work for you. Well, you have AP and AR. So if you include AP, you have to include AR. They're usually small amounts. The reason we even care about debt is if it's some gigantic amount. Trump doesn't have any other public companies. He did have one a long time ago, and it failed too. DJT is actually hard to borrow on Interactive right now. Most of the time it cancels out, but it's most of the time not relevant. A $20 billion company with 100 million in AP is not really material. I doubt Mesa will get approval, but I'll look at it at some point. Yeah, GPT is great. I actually wanted to use it, the new GPT $200 version. Is RMAT designation good news? I used to short Mesoblast 10 or so years ago. It's kind of always been a dog of a company. It's a fake company. I mean, it's a fake asset.
Order filled. That order was filled.
Order filled. Order filled, Martin.
Order filled, Martin. Order filled, Martin.
Order filled, Shkreli.
I want to look at KYMERA. KYMERA is kind of exciting. I've always liked ProTax. These are nice targets. All you guys want some longs, I know that. Sick of shorts. Sick of making money. You guys sick of it, right? Okay, KYMERA is definitely one to look into. Another one, ARVINAS. Let's look at Natera, a non-biopharma company. Healthcare company. Medical devices and diagnostics. We can look at a firm. Yeah, it's not hard to, to forecast. If you forecast a few years out, the company should be profitable. If not, a company could be a good short. But you also check cash flow from operations because earnings are not always, net income is not always the most important thing. And then again, try to adjust for extra spending they're doing. Amazon used to spend a lot on super projects that were just kind of money losers and they weren't very valuable, so you couldn't knock their core earnings for a side project. If the core business is very profitable, value the core business. $22 billion company. Wow, Natera is huge. I knew they were quite successful, but wow, look at the revenue growth. Remarkable. All right, 20 minutes to go. As I said, no biotech companies blew up last night. Probably will get at least one over the weekend, if not two. So revenue growth 66% for Natera. Huge growth. Always a little hard to value huge growth businesses because you don't know when the growth will stop. But they're usually worth a little more than you think because that growth doesn't stop. Yeah, again, like yesterday, I said that when you have the second derivative increasing, which is what is happening with HIMS, when the rate of growth is positive, but the rate of change of the rate of growth is also positive. It's going faster than before, and it's a decent sized company. That's when you know you have a special company. It's very rare for growth to accelerate. That's the second derivative. The third derivative, no, it doesn't mean anything in finance, I don't think. Maybe some high frequency trader or something like that would disagree, but. And then there's a fourth derivative. I don't know what the name of that is. It's got some ridiculous name, I think. Anybody in the chat knows, I'd be impressed. I'm looking at Natera NTRA. Is it Jounce? It might be Jounce. Oh, it might be Snap too. That might be fifth. No revenue disaggregation. Makes me a sad panda. DJT in for another exciting day. Fell apart pretty bad yesterday. Bitcoin rallying pretty hard here.
Order partially filled.
I'm gonna retake that 100,000 mark. Important psychological level. I don't even believe in levels.
Order filled.
But you know, that whole thing. We're very bearish here on DJT. Reordering some things. Should be a big next 2 weeks in biotech. 𝗍𝗏 is on my radar. NMRA. SLS is on my radar. SLS.
Order partially filled.
anavex is on my radar.
Order filled.
NVX. GALT is on my radar. GALT. And there's a few more actually. Of course, Humacyte's on my radar. HUMA, that's a big one. Just trying to get positioned and short all this stuff. It's a lot of stuff. I haven't seen a biotech week like this in a long time. DJT, a good short here. I expect they'll try to announce some crypto thing, which again, jumping late on the MicroStrategy bandwagon. I don't know that that's going to be good. It's going to be hard for them to make a business that's worth $6 billion. It takes a long time to make a $6 billion business. I didn't say Natera was a good short. Yeah, I think the GameStop thesis is mostly related to Ryan Cohen doing something different, not so much. I don't think anybody cares about the GameStop-based business anymore. Go short AVXL loser. You're not mad at me, are you? Are you mad at me? Seems like you're mad. Don't be mad. It's just a stock. Do you have all your money in it? Oh. I have all 10,000 in it. I read it was the best. My big pharma. I know big pharma. I'm very smart. I read all the DD. Anavex is complicated, so I mean they've been kind of running the scam for a long time. That's true. Without the dark pools and phantom shares, AVXL would be at 100. But I keep it down. And the Fed is in on it with me too. Federal Reserve. Yep. Powell knows about it. There it is. There's me filling the anavex. Big upgrades. No, not the big upgrades. Wait. Upgrades from who? There's no analysts that cover this stock. Upgrades. You talking about H.C. Wainwright, dog? Have you guys ever heard of any of these banks, by the way? You guys know of any of these? I've heard of Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. Let's read these. H.C. Wainwright and Co. Okay, it's not JP Morgan. How about Goldman Sachs? Now we have 𝗕𝗏𝗃𝗏 Capital. Okay. All right. How about Bank of America? E.F. Hutton. Huh. Well, maybe it's a foreign bank like UBS. BTIG. Okay. So it's a sigma receptor agonist?
I should look at APP.
Give me the cheaper shares. That's the bag holder anthem. I'm glad there's still baggies out there. We need you baggies, bro. Without the bag holders, we have nothing. Without the bag holders, this stock would be at 1. You make it easy for us. I love you baggies. You're right. Sigma receptor agonist. It's a cure for Alzheimer's. You got it. Let's go. What do you guys make of Joe Springer's silence? I'm trying to reserve my judgment. I don't want to make assumptions without knowing the facts. However, arguably, the face of 𝗧𝗏 goes missing at the most precarious time for 𝗧𝗏. Joe himself has criticized 𝗧𝗏's management team for not having strong PR and not punching back. Where is he now? People are questioning his integrity. Why not push back? What does he have to lose? Instead, he's telling people to join his Discord to discuss 𝗧𝗏. Why? Is this a new way for him to make money? Why else? Very disappointed and frustrated with Joe. There are people out there who constantly label Cassava longs as pumpers or cult members. If indeed we are a cult, then I suppose some of the followers of Joe Springer would then be labeled a subcult in the way they worship the guy. It seems to me that you and I'm sure other people are experiencing withdrawal, and it's time to face the facts that he doesn't know anybody's presence or an explanation for the lack of it. For all he knows, maybe he's pulled back to re-examine. Look, he's one man with one set of opinions who charges his fans to hear his spew. I've been a shareholder for 5 years. There's no way I would still be holding on if I pull full stock into any one analyst. Multi-baggers club for the low price of $2,000 a year. No, we need to pay that $2,000. Not letting him close down multi-baggers. $359 a year? It's a lot cheaper. It's a lot cheaper. Get a discount on other Substacks. Skip for now. We want to recommend Investors Club with Joe Springer. Big winners in this Substack. The multi-baggy club. Listen, if he stops publishing, we stop getting alpha. Support the guy. Okay? I'll even gift some subscriptions. Who else wants? Give me your email. Send me an email with your email if you want this sub. This is a multi-bagger club. Mine is free, by the way, but this is a multi-bagger club. I don't have one of those.
Order filled.
This is not for noobs. This is not for brokies. Okay? It's a multi-bagger club. Think of it like a country
Order
club.
filled.
Sipping the cognac with Joe Springer, trying to figure out what the next big 10x is going to be. We're sitting here trading, losing our minds, thinking about everything. Just join the multi-baggers club.
Order filled.
Let Joe do the work for you.
Order filled.
You pay a little fee, a little $500, a little $1,000. But you get the gold. Cassava Science is what happened in phase 3. We have had a tough setback. It's not a setback. It's not even true. Why? What's setback? Just do the trial again. Find a subgroup that works and see where it worked before so it'll work again. Can't be that hard. You gotta find like
Order filled.
the mild patients or the really mild patients or the somewhat moderate but not quite yet mild or the mild but not quite yet moderate. Just figure out a tiny slice, and that's still going to be a big market. I'll give this guy all the money he wants to research stocks for the rest of his life. You can research stocks forever. I'll put you on payroll. I lost a lot of money and sold my positions. Word.
So before we start, let me just say how grateful.
There's like 100 guys in this Discord.
I'm disappointed for everybody. I mean, I lost money and lost a bunch of money, but let's just try to be positive, learn from it, and move forward. So you never know. There's that story from Field of Dreams, and the guy wanted to be a baseball player, and then he couldn't be a baseball player, and
You wanted to be
eventually this
toxic.
kid falls out of the stands, and this guy couldn't become a baseball player, so he eventually became a doctor. And then he was able to save that kid. And anyway, what about comparing to all the other placebos? How did that perform? Yeah, if we compared this against it, which is confounding. This is
So
strange.
confounding. I know.
Because
It should have worked.
Because we included moderates.
Yeah.
And the other ones didn't include moderates, and their placebos did worse.
Run it back up, Joe.
I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but is there any chance this is London 2.0?
Yes.
Wondering if. Oh man,
Shkreli did it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure. Cassava was in control of the process. I'm not sure how it could be. You never know with cyber warfare and whatnot, but
It was Mossad. Someone said they canceled Refocus. Is that true? Oh my God, there's BioInvestor, the big bag holder BioInvestors in there.
that's the whole thing. The placebo group. This was
When even Joe Springer tells you there's no hope.
basically we got this.
You're wrong, Joe. This is where you're wrong. We can fix it. We can come back.
This was basically we cut the decline in half.
We make a second filament drug. If they buy Bitcoin, they could do more Alzheimer's drugs.
There's all of this talk about the alpha 7 nicotine.
Bro, he has to be either short or he's getting paid by somebody like me to give out purposefully wrong advice. I would never do that because it's probably criminal. But man, it thought crossed my mind. So I get Joe Springer and I said, Joe, I'm your biggest subscriber. I gave you 10 subs. Check out this stock I'm really interested in. It's called AVXL. It's AVXL, baby. Look at the data. It's so good. Tell all your followers. I'm going to buy 25 subscriptions. Wouldn't that work? But if he fell for Cassava, he should probably fall for anavex. You need to set this up like long term. Get in with him over the long run. You're like, I've been a subscriber 3 years, Joe. I need you to look at this one stock. Wavemaster. We know Wavemaster. Who else? All these guys blocked me from the Cassava Discord. Why not sell as a memory supplement? I bet the FDA will say no, which means it worked. Otherwise, drug was a scam all along. Doesn't make sense. I know, it doesn't make sense. Run it back.
The one thing that we cannot do is fail the drug. If the drug comes back good to go, we got to be ready to move. And so he did a good job. He brought people in and
Yeah, why did he hire all those people? So weird. I know. It's like he knew, then he didn't know. Fan of Joe goes, thank you for all you have done. I am out of biotech forever. We lost a baggie. But will certainly subscribe to your club for advice on other sectors. Still hope to meet you one day. William, if you'd been on Wall Street for your whole life, you know that you could just debate things on the phone with shareholders. So one of the easiest things to do is to go ABXL, Equity, HDS. Who are the big shareholders of anavex? Well, BlackRock is an indexer, Vanguard's an indexer, State Street's an indexer, Geode's an indexer, so none of those, there's nobody to even talk to there. So there's nobody to talk to at 𝗤�sigma or Goldman, or Morgan Stanley or Northern Trust, or Schwab, or Susquehanna, or 𝗤�sigma or Citadel or Millennium, or Bank of America, or Renaissance, or Bank of New York, or Nuveen, or Barclays. And now you're dealing with guys that have less than $1 million. Which for Wall Street's nothing. So the only one is this NWAM LLC, but even that I think is not a fund. Yeah, it's just Northwest Asset Management. So there's no actual investor other than Oz, which is 𝗥𝗓𝗃, which there may be a guy there that owns the stock, but all these guys are indexers, and this is the downside of indexing. This is how you get smoked. Some of these guys may be short, like Oz may be short and boxing it. So I would just call 𝗥𝗓𝗃 and whoever's running biotech there and say, hey, I'm Martin. So-and-so introduced me. It used to be 𝗥𝗓𝗃. They changed their name, by the way. Sculpture or Structure? I forgot. I see you're long 1 million shares. What are you thinking? And you debate on the phone. But it looks like there's almost nobody that's long. It's all baggies, big baggies. I mean, Wall Street's a tight community. So, I know all the big bosses on Wall Street and I think I have a good enough relationship where I can call them up. No, if you have $50,000 account, they're not going to talk to you. These are guys with hundreds of millions, big boss to big boss. But the analysts that work for those guys, they also talk. And they're not big bosses. Oh, you got to take it with a little bit of a grain of salt, HTC, but yeah, I mean, I think the fact there are no institutions in the stock is like really bad. Somebody has to believe in it, Like, how could literally nobody on Wall Street like the stock? One guy? Just one guy throw $1 million in? The only one is Oz, and again, maybe there was a guy at 𝗥𝗓𝗃. Used to be called 𝗥𝗓𝗃. It was a big hedge fund. I think they changed their name. They're not totally known for their biopharma expertise. Could be wrong there. Well, anavex already has their data out. It was very bad. And the drug's mechanism is very bad. And the company's management team is very bad. The patent situation is very bad. There's some people on Wall Street that understand biotech. Cassava also didn't have any institutional stockholders. I mean, you can't have, not even one? I honestly don't know how it stays at 8, but it won't be there for long. It was one once upon a time. It'll be back. I think just being new to the space, not understanding biotech, anavex will implode when the Europe rejects their MAA, which we have no idea when that'll happen. Could be tomorrow, it could be next year. Yeah, I was short anavex years ago, yeah. Like 10 years ago or something. One of my guys went there. I don't know if he's still there or not. Of course, and his stock can go up or down. There's no rules in the stock market. 80% approval rate. Gee, you should buy the stock right now. That's a high approval rate. Yeah, I don't think there's any problem shorting it without any hedges or anything. Yeah, I don't think AI agents and crypto will pan out, but crypto is one of these things where money flow is more important than basically anything. You got MicroStrategy going to 1,000? Sick. I'm not long Asana, unfortunately. I always thought about it because Moskowitz just has so much money, he keeps buying the stock, but I know MS, I'm really nervous. I'm trapped. I'm a trapped short. I don't know what to do. If I cover, it'll just go up more. But if I short more, I don't have any money left. What do I do? I've never been in this situation. Yeah, just short anavex, AVXL, short HUMA, short MicroStrategy, short DJT, short SLS, short Galt, Nomura, long VKTX, long ADMA. This guy was a long, but I got to refresh on him. Use your side ladder attacks. I don't think insider ownership matters that much. Nomura is a risky short. Just be careful. Yeah, Big Pharma's decent long, I think. I sell puts all the time. No, I was just researching that company. Does not mean anything about whether it's a good company or not. I think GME is up because people are sheep and they have an affinity for this guy. I don't know if he's made insane returns or not. We have no idea if that's true or not. I don't believe that. I don't know. I know a lot of traders. It's hard to make that much money with taxes and stuff like that. I don't believe everything you see. It doesn't seem very bright to me either. Yeah, so how do you make 600 million out of nothing? On one stock? I know some of the best traders in the world. That's not possible. He also filed with the SEC, which is kind of a little nuts to do if you're elementing it. So seems like if you're going to file with the SEC, you are going to tell the truth, but it could be the biggest LARP ever. I don't know. I just would put him out of your mind. SLS drug doesn't work. There's some good traders out there. Jane Street's pretty good. Yeah, they got some talented people. You guys are talking about Roaring Kitty and Bossman Jack. Come on, man. This is like if you looked at your local playground and you're like, oh yeah, Jim, he's the best basketball player of all time. But you've never seen an NBA game, so you don't know anything about LeBron or Kobe or Michael Jordan. So you're like, oh yeah, Jimmy, man, he's got to be the best player in the whole world. There's other players out there. You know that, right? SPF did not do well at Jane Street.